says exit now, you're usually panicking, especially if you're in the center lane. Right or left, you got to get off the road. Amen. Well, this is where we're at in our faith, and we're always at that point. Tonight we're going to talk about the city of Jericho. Now, the city of Jericho is famous for marching around the city 7 days, the wall fell. That's what everybody knows. I've heard that preached over and over and over and over. I don't want to talk about the walls. The walls aren't that important to me right now. What I want to talk about is Achan and what happened after the walls fell. See, we had an army that showed up, and God said, go and take that city. Now, he told Joshua to remember that that city is condemned to be destroyed. Only the silver, the gold, the brass, and the iron will be taken into God's storehouse. That was his. Okay, Caleb, if we can go to the next slide. We're going to read this real quick so I don't have to try and do this from memory. All right, this is the King James Version. Now the city shall be doomed by the Lord to destruction, it and all who are in it. Only Rahab, I'm going to read it from here because it's easier. Only Rahab and the harlot shall live, she and all who were with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And you, by all means, abstain from the accursed things, lest you become accursed when you take the accursed things and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of bronze and iron are consecrated to the Lord, and they shall come into the treasury of the Lord. Now, it's important for us to look at this because Joshua was told directly by God, Jericho is doomed. It is set apart for destruction. It is going to be cursed. Okay? But all the silver, gold, and vessels of bronze and iron are to be consecrated to the Lord. Okay? He's going to pull them in. We have a direct command from God about tithing. Okay? I'm going to give you this city, but I want these things. But we need to back up and look in 6:18, the word accursed. Now, this is translated from the word karam. Karam means to be physically shut in or a doomed object. It also talks about being covered over, and this is important to remember. In this particular occasion, the prefix on karam is ha, H-A. So ha karam, the accursed, is what is being said here. So the direct translation is the accursed. Now, we're not talking about the city, we're talking about the stuff is cursed, okay? This is the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron. This is cursed. It is covered over, doomed in nature. That's the best translation you can get. It means a lot of things, but those are what we're talking about. Now, this is important to remember because we're going to come back to this word over and over as we go forward, and it's going to talk to us and teach us so many things. This is a very important word. Now, Joshua tells the people, look, you can't touch these things. They're cursed. They're covered. They're doomed. You'll bring trouble on us, so don't mess with them, okay? In 6:19, he tells the people that the silver and gold vessels are consecrated to the Lord, set apart and holy unto God. Now, these things belong to God, so don't touch them, or we're going to be in trouble. Don't touch them. Don't even get near them, other than to haul them into the treasury of the Lord. Leave them alone. Now, stern warnings like that seem simple to me. When you're there in that situation, you would think, okay, well, we're not going to touch it. I'm not going to mess with that stuff. I'm going to leave it alone. It's kind of like when you have a child at home and you tell them, don't touch the stove. What's the first thing they do? They want to reach up and touch the stove. Don't play with the electrical outlet. What's the first thing they want to do? They want to go play with the plug. Don't ride your bike that way. You're going to get hurt. My kid does it all the time. No matter what I tell him, he wants to go do it. And it's okay because he learns lessons that way. And we all learn lessons that way. We learn lessons from God. We learn lessons from each other. We make mistakes. We get back up. But in this case, it's a little different. See, Joshua told them directly from God, if you touch that stuff, you're going to curse yourself, but you're going to curse all of us. This is a big difference. It's not you're going to get in trouble. It's not you're going to get in trouble, Alan. It's all of us. Your actions will affect everyone. So I think of a teenager driving. You teach them how to drive, and you say, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that, and they have to listen to you. If they don't listen to you, you put people in danger. Somebody can get killed. You're talking about property damage. It's a very serious thing. You have to listen to the words. He tells them, don't touch it or all of us will be cursed. Now, me personally, I would follow that. I hope I would. I would think I would. But it's funny how the simple things in life is what we overlook. The very simple things. Don't touch that or we'll all be cursed. Well, somebody wants to go and touch it. They don't think about everybody. They're thinking about themselves. The simple things. Don't touch the stove. It's hot. You do it anyways. Sometimes we're drawn to the very things that hurt us the most. And that's the funniest thing about human nature. We're drawn to that fire like a moth to a flame. We are drawn to the things that hurt us. And we can't help ourselves. That's the flesh fighting against the spirit. It's a constant battle, day in, day out, night by night, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. Our battle inside of us is our flesh versus our spirit. And the only one that wins is if we give in to Christ. Thank God we have a Savior who comes along with a Band-Aid, puts it on, and says, it's okay, get back up. Amen. Now, God's telling them, look here, I'm going to give you this city. You're going to take it by force by marching around. But this city, once I give it to you, the stuff inside is mine. So in essence, we could call this Jericho the first fruit city. The first 10th city. The first 10th of your tithe. The first 10th of your time. That's what this city represents. Because he's going to give them all of Judea. But this is mine. You can have that. But this is mine. Isn't that the way our tithe goes? It's the way we have to think about it. We have to remember that he didn't say, it's mine because God was greedy. God has everything. God has anything he wants. Cattle on 1,000 hills. What he said was, I'm going to give you that after you give me this. It's obedience. So, the main point to remember here is when God has given his portion first, it brings upon the blessing on the rest. And that's the story that we're looking at there. God's claim on Jericho is important to us, not because of what he wanted, but because we can rely on his blessing on our rest. So we're going to move forward to 7:1. And in Joshua 7:1, we're going to meet Achan. And Achan, well, he's greedy, and he likes to do things his way. I'm going to read this for you. But the children of Israel committed a trespass, or read sin, regarding the accursed things. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, that's a lot of names, of the tribe of Judah, took the accursed things. So the anger of the Lord burned against the children of Israel. Achan took the dedicated things. But what's important in this passage, it isn't that Achan stole or what he stole. What's important in this passage is God was angry with the nation of Israel, not Achan. He was angry with every one of them. A gold bar, some silver coins, and a robe brought the anger of God on the entire nation of Israel. When we look at the word dedicated things, okay, the Hebrew translation is Kerem. The same word. The dedicated items are described in the same way. Now we just saw that the word Kerem means the accursed, or accursed, covered over, doomed. But now we see the same word, but it doesn't mean the same thing. Now it has two meanings. The word Kerem represents dedicated things in this passage. So now we know that the word Kerem is important because it has two meanings based on who possesses the item. So if you have a robe in this example, the robe is accursed the minute Achan took it. It's dedicated or set apart and holy unto God when it was in his possession. Based on what you do with the tithe determines whether or not it is blessed or cursed, hence the choice. Now, as it changes back and forth, we'll get into that a little bit more later. But when we take something that is holy and meant for God, or through our lack of action fail to give God, What we've done is we've, in effect, changed what is holy through our actions. Our actions can change